keynote speaker for the day. Brother Michael Muhammad is a phenomenal speaker. He is a life coach. Not only is he a life coach, but he's also a multimedia producer as well. He also speaks at the Chicago Urban League. He has an awesome men's focus group that he teaches everyone how to give life, how to live a healthier life with communication, with relationships in our families. He brings in everything that you need to hear and more. And we just want to give him an awesome hand clap today, because the word, the message you guys are about to get, it is for everyone who is here. And again, if you think that it doesn't relate to you right now, it will. You will hear it. It will come to you in the future right now. And we want to give Brother Michael Muhammad a hand clap today.
How's everybody doing today? All right. Good. Let's give Brittany MissFitBritt. Awesome. Gracious in you in. Yeah. Fitness Extravaganza. Yeah. The spirit has been high. The spirit has been right. I want to begin, before I do anything else, I want to begin in the name of the Lord, the beneficent, the most merciful. I bear witness that there is no one God. I bear witness in Moses, in Abraham, in Jesus, and Muhammad. And in their names, those righteous prophets who came and through whom God brought revelation, that whenever we went astray, whenever we got off the path, that we had some place to go, that we had a record, that we had a book, that we had teachers to go back to, that before God punished us, we could make it right and get it right. So in their names, in the names of all the righteous prophets and servants, I greet everybody here in the greeting words of peace and paradise. For those who may be unfamiliar with those are the words that Jesus spoke. Whenever he met his disciples, whenever he left his disciples, he said to them, peace be unto you. But Jesus didn't speak English. He spoke Hebrew, and he spoke ancient Aramaic and Arabic. So if he was here today, if the master was here today, he would say in Hebrew, Shalom Aleichem. He would say in Arabic, Assalamu Alaikum. Or in English, he would say to us, peace be unto you. And if he was out on the street with the brothers out there who didn't make it in here, he might just say, what's up? So, Assalamu Alaikum, peace be unto you, and what's up? What I do as a life coach, I've worked with the Chicago Urban League for a number of years, for about 10 years. I've worked with the Nation of Islam for about 15 years. I've worked in the church all of my life since I was baptized in St. Columba's Church in Chicago. And what I do everywhere that I go is simply try to allow God to speak through me. Because all of us have a purpose in life. And that purpose in life, that purpose in life is what gives us life. If we understand and seek to achieve our purpose in life, then we give ourselves the ability to have life more abundantly. We give others around us the ability to see their own potential and then strive for what is greater. So we work with men, along with Brother Jerry, DJ in the back. We have worked together for about the past 10 years at Chicago Urban League and at other places. We work with men in what's called our male involvement program. And we work with men between the ages of 18 and 40 who are fathers. Men who are trying to get their lives together. Some of them are custodial who have their children. Some of them are non-custodial who don't have their children with them. And are trying to be better men. And there's no greater work than that we could do other than to help, first of all, the family get back together, because the black family has been destroyed. The black family has been destroyed in a very systematic way. It's not an accident. And the male, particularly, has been destroyed. So whenever we have events, we have many sisters. And our beautiful sisters come out and they support whatever is being done, and many times they're at the forefront. Most of the times, the sisters are at the forefront. But the way that God set it up was that the man would be the head of the household if Christ would be the head of the man. And so we have to put Christ's principles back into the men, that the men can take their proper place in the family and become and make the black family what it's supposed to be. Now, in that vein, Brittany used the title. She said, well, our master presenter is coming up, and, I can't call myself the master of too much of anything, but I am a student of the master. I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And being such, I don't have a choice but being a student of the master of Christ. A lot of times when we go and we speak, and I introduce myself, or I am introduced, people immediately say, Michael Muhammad, you a Muslim? People might say, well, what a Muslim doing in a Christian church? Well, that's because it's exactly what I'm supposed to do. I remember when I first met. When I first met the director of the Health and Wellness Ministry here, Mrs. Ramsey, Mama Ramsey, she said, I don't know, I just want to know, I just got one question. That's all I want to know. I said, yes, what is that? She said, do you love Jesus? In fact, I love them so much, and I think I have a very personal relationship with them. And what I want to talk about today in terms of embracing the skin that we're in, embracing the skin that you're in. See, we can't embrace the skin that we're in if we don't embrace ourselves. You know, it's like saying in Egypt and in all of the mystery in the temples in Africa, there's an inscription, and they took it over to Greece and Rome, and they got it here. It says, man, know thyself. Because we can't embrace that which we don't know. And if we don't know ourselves, we won't love ourselves. But if we do come to know who we are and begin to learn about ourselves in the most intricate way, we will absolutely fall in love with ourselves. And as Brittany talked about, we got to give Brittany another hand. Yeah. She has Brittany came up with this embrace the skin you're in, I think, over a year ago. And I remember when she first talked to me about it was years ago. And she talked about it with such spirit and such drive and such purpose. I remember it reminded me of the first conversation that we had, that we both were talking about our purpose in life. Because embrace the skin you're in. When we think about embrace, you know, and I looked it up in the dictionary and thinking about it because I studied from a man named Reverend James Bevel. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. Reverend Bevel was in the 60s under Dr. Martin Luther King. Reverend Bevel was, everybody's from the South, if you're from Alabama, if you're from the South, if you're from Mississippi, you know about Reverend Bevel. He was, in the 60s, he was the director of direct action under Dr. King in the SCLC. So whenever the young people were being organized in all of the successful movements that Dr. King led, every one of them, the Freedom Riders, the open housing movement here in Chicago, the Nashville sit-ins, every successful movement that Dr. King did, it was Reverend Bevel who organized the young people and taught them the science of nonviolence, who taught them the science behind what does it take to discipline yourself and to go into a hostile environment and have a purpose for what you're doing, have a definition and know who you are, and go in there and get your purpose and come out without being turned astray. And I remember when one of the first lessons Brother Noble taught me, he talked about how whenever you're speaking to a group of people, whenever you're trying to put something together, it's so important to begin with definition. Because we got to know who we are, what it is that we're doing, and then move to a purpose of why it is. And I thought about the definition of embrace the skin you're in, and embrace, when we think of the word embrace, is to hold closely, to hold in your arms, to hold and to revere with affection, to take close to your heart. Well, you can't take something close into your heart and hold it closely to you if you are divided. We as a people have been so divided. And we're divided for silly reasons. We have a very difficult time embracing one another. We have a hard time embracing ourselves. We have a hard time embracing the skin that we're in because we've always been taught that the skin that we're in, that there's something wrong with it. Now, I know many of us are old enough to remember we had all kind of little sayings and things, and they used to say, if you're white, you're all right. If you're yellow, it's kind of weird. If you're brown, you can stick around. But if you're black, you gotta get back. Now, why is it that 100 and some years up from slavery, if I start saying that everybody knows how to recite, everybody knows it because that's etched into our psyche. And it's hard for us to embrace one another. It's hard for us to embrace ourselves because we still have a lot of those psychological issues, that damage that has been done to us over years of slavery. But we're the only people that have had the opportunity or had the experience of going through 400 years and coming out of it and still being right here. Still being a people who, though we're divided and though we have problems, we're people that are still here growing, evolving, trying to fulfill our purpose. Now, I started off talking about that because I'm not going to be very long at all. This is going to be, as we're wrapping up our program. But I want to talk about the spiritual, mental, emotional, and the physical aspect of embracing the skin that you're in.